I see Ray's in the chat, and that's awesome. Okay, hey guys, we got the amazing Liz Cross with us. I'm really excited about this. We're going to play the intro and get started. And as always, this will be if you're watching on YouTube or watching on, why is it playing over again? Okay, I'll play hit this. Okay, and if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Rumble, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Here, I'm putting the subscribe ticker up now. It should play, but yeah, hit the notification bell and hit the thumbs up. Give the video a like. And all that good stuff. And share the video out too. Because that really helps. Especially like when you're like me, if you're so like have your channel taken away and like I'm trying to rebuild. But no, one of my guests tonight is literally one of my favorite guests. I have with me the amazing Liz Cross. Tonight she's going to be doing live readings. We'll do audience Q&A, mind probes, and I put remote viewing in the title because I figured it would catch a lot of eyes, but we probably won't get into much remote viewing besides talking about it. But Liz Cross is a renowned psychic medium, remote viewer, and consciousness transformation expert. She's the creator of CTT, Consciousness Transformation Technique, a powerful method for healing, empowerment, and personal evolution. Liz is celebrated for her highly accurate psychic insights and her ability to tap into deeper layers of consciousness through remote viewing and mind probes. Beyond her intuitive gifts, she is a spiritual teacher dedicated to helping others unlock their own psychic potential and live with greater clarity. A returning guest and a fan favorite to the Typical Skeptic Podcast, Liz has been featured across podcasts, YouTube, and on social media platforms where she shares her guidance on the paranormal, psychic development, and hidden layers of reality. And then I wrote a little blurb about it. I wrote, returning guest Liz Cross joins Robert Quill for an electrifying evening of live psychic readings, remote viewing, audience Q&A, and mind probes. Known for her precision and authenticity, Liz will be taking audience questions live and diving deep into consciousness work using her CTT method. Don't miss this chance to experience Liz's gifts firsthand and be a part of the interactive energy of the show. And with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. Liz, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm good. Oh my God. I can't believe you said all that stuff about me. That's so weird. Just like, is he talking about me or yeah. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Like I said, I just got back from a big road trip. I went to Iowa on a whim. Well, I did two road trips this year. I went to the
Mm.
Full Disclosure Now conference in Florida in July, and that was fun. And then I just recently went on a whim to Iowa to chase a girl that I feel like I'm in love with. Or that I at least care deeply about. She's my podcast partner. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, she's definitely special. I would say, like for absolutely for sure she's special. It's just like yeah, but yeah, and so there's all that, and then that's kind of what's been going on with me. And I took like a 19-hour bus ride to Iowa, you know, and it was on the Greyhound, but there's some really savage stuff that goes on the Greyhound. It's like a no holds
Mm.
barred ruthless place for illicit activity, and it's
Oh,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm just making jokes, but no, like I was telling
It's
you on the way
true.
back. Yeah, some kid overdosed on the bus at 5 in the morning on the way back. It was crazy. You know what I mean? It was absolutely insane. You know what I mean? So it was like, and guys, I just put the links. If you want to donate and you want to support the podcast, like, you will probably get your question read faster because it pops up and it gives me a notification. I put the link in the description if anybody wants to donate from my crowd or Liz's crowd. My crowd knows what to do. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, buy me a coffee. It's pretty much straightforward. Support the podcast because, I put out 3, 4 shows a day, guys. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I do. I do. It's not a lie. It's not a joke. I don't know anybody else that's doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to give myself credit. I'm just saying I like to work. You know what I mean? And I love what I do. I don't know. Yeah, sorry, but yeah. But what's going on with you, Liz? How's everything going?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Thank you. That whole thing, that Greyhound, I had this, God, this was so long ago, but I had this English boyfriend when I lived in London before, obviously before I met my husband. And he says, well, we came to visit over here. He wanted to meet my mom and dad, which by the way didn't like him at all, but whatever. And we were supposed to go to New York for New Year's. And I was going to drive my parents' car up there, and he says, "No, no, 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 no." He was a writer. "No, we're taking Greyhound." And I'm like, "Okay, he clearly doesn't understand the concept of Greyhound." Um and so but he wanted to have writing materials. So we went to the bus station, bought two tickets, went to New York on the bus, and on the way back, we stopped off at this really nasty, this is on the Greyhound bus, nasty little bar with a pool table. This is where the driver wanted to stop for a break. I mean, of all places you can stop on the way from New York, it's like a 24-hour bus ride.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, "Look, don't you start playing pool with these people, because we are in the middle of like the hills of West Virginia or Virginia somewhere." I was like, "You don't want to upset this crowd." And he was
Hell
like,
yeah.
"Oh, it doesn't matter to me, love. Don't you worry about it." I'm like, "Oh my God, we're going to, we're going to get in a load of trouble."
That's
Cause
hilarious.
yeah, he was a bit of a pool shark. And needless to say, he beat, he beat the people in there playing pool, and they were not happy. And then they started laying down money. And I was like, "Look, this has got to stop, because we're going to get beaten up here. They're going to beat me and you up." And so I managed to get him back on the bus. But I mean, the to choose this really just disgusting bar, your feet stuck to the carpet. It was so
Mhm.
dirty. Oh, but I thought we
But
were gonna get killed in there.
uh, what's crazy about the Greyhound? I tried to explain this to someone. Is this is what's how I really felt like. Let me trust me, Liz. Like I grew up in a rough area. Like I grew up in a rough area of Pittsburgh, and I consider myself to be like a rough guy. Like if I need to throw down, I can throw down. You know what I mean? But nowadays, people don't throw down anymore. People have guns, but like needless to say, I can take care of myself. I did martial arts for years and all kinds of martial arts too. I was on the wrestling team in high school and I boxed and all kinds of shit. I'm out of shape now, but I mean, I'm really, but like on this Greyhound, I felt like that I had to like literally keep my hand in my pocket where my wallet was in my front
Yeah.
pocket and keep my hand
Hmm.
on my wallet while I slept because I was afraid that someone was going to sneak up from behind me and try to steal my wallet out of my pocket. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
how insane this thing is. You know what I mean? It's like, it's next level it's savagery, It's like
It
yeah.
is. Yeah, and it's it's the transport of criminals. It really is. I mean, that's where the criminals go to hide. They don't take planes because you have to go through high, security, but they'll take Greyhound all day long. I mean, good grief. And don't forget, a lot of the Greyhound clientele, not all, but a lot of them, you cities will just keep buying homeless people bus tickets, and they just get bused from one city to the next. So I mean, it was pretty hairy. It was hairy for us in that bar. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, because I know what you're saying about where you come from and everything. So I'm really not from anything like that. I grew up in pretty much the country, and I mean, you do have some rough people, but it's kind of like roughing it light, right? It's not hardcore city rough.
Yeah.
Country rough is very different. And but anyway, I mean, but that scared the hell out of me. It really did. I was like, we have to get back on the bus. We're gonna get stabbed. We're gonna get shot in here. Let's go. And he's like, "Well, at least it was good writing material." And he went and sat down on the bus and he made notes. But yeah, it was pretty grim. Pretty
That's
grim.
hilarious. That's hilarious. Did you ever ride it again? Did you ever have another Greyhound experience?
That's a negative. No. No,
Yeah.
that was my one and only. I don't need to repeat that. But I mean, look, it's different for a girl as well. Sorry to sound like sexist or whatever, but it's a man's world on that Greyhound bus, right? You got to be tough,
Yeah.
and yeah, but it was interesting. He got a lot of material out of it. Needless to say, I broke up with him after that. I broke up with
What?
him. Yeah.
Why? What was the reason for breaking up? Like what? Just
Um,
secret.
he was just I don't know. He just was, he was arrogant and he was pompous and he was, he was very kind of, this is the thing. He was kind of upper class Brit, right? So he was
Yeah.
just, I don't know. He was just a bit too arrogant for me. Um, he just was, I don't know. He was rude. So yeah, after that bus ride, I was like, yeah, you're out of here, mate. But
You
anyway,
you
yeah,
relate to the British well. It seems like you've had a lot of interactions with the British. I know you used to live
mate.
over there.
I am British.
Wait, you are British? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like I have dual citizenship and everybody in my family is English. I grew up in the USA, like I went to school here. But yeah, I'm British. But obviously it's funny because I go into both. So when I'm around British people, I sound like them a little bit. And obviously my natural voice without, thinking about it is American. But yeah, when I'm around British people, I sound British. Yeah, everybody in my family is British. Everybody. Everybody's English. My mom, my dad, all my cousins, my aunties. I'm the odd one out. Oldest son was born in London. My husband's from London. Um, everybody, cause in England, and all the family are there. The only person in our family that is here is my dad. Everybody's still in the UK. But my dad was a musician years ago, back in the day, and he and my mom immigrated over here. And yeah, so they just stayed because it never made financial sense to go back to the UK. Every time they thought about going back, it was always some sort of crazy hardship, strikes, protests, toilet paper strikes. And we used to have to send toilet rolls, like in the 80s we'd have to send toilet rolls to our family because nobody had any toilet paper. The toilet roll factories were on strike. There was all these strikes going on all the time. There was never any work really. So we just decided to stay here. But then when I left high school, as soon as I finished high school, I packed a backpack and my mom and dad are like, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm out of here." And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm done. I'm just done with being in this small town." And so I went to live in London. I backpacked through Europe a bit, and I went to live in London for a week. Gosh, I was there for 13, 14 years, and then decided after I had a child, once my son was born and I was married and everything, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not bringing my kid up here. We're going back to the country. So we came back. But yeah, no, I lived over there for a long time. So yeah, I'm British.
That was the beginning of your excuse me. That was the beginning of your psychic journey as well, in London too, right?
No, the beginning of my psychic journey was the very beginning was when I was 4 years old, and my mom used to hold these seances, right? Because she was a
Oh,
psychic medium.
that's so cool.
And
Yeah.
I used to sit in on her seances and we would talk to all these spirit guides and all this stuff. And then she did that for a few years and not very often, mind you, because it's more acceptable now than what it was. But then when I was like 14, that's when things started, like I could feel things again, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely psychic, but I didn't even tap into it. I was scared. You don't want to see spirits coming at you in your face and stuff going out the corner of your eye. And, I was a little terrified. And then eventually it became unavoidable. So when I got into my adult years, it just became unavoidable. It's just something that I was going to do whether I liked it or not. It wasn't that I had a choice. I just did it. So then I started channeling, and I had moved back over here. I just moved back to the States, and I started channeling, and then I started doing readings and more readings and more readings, and yeah, the rest is history. But I studied a lot too. You know, people ask me, well, how did you learn this stuff? Well, the first when I first started channeling, I didn't have anybody to teach me what to do. And in fact, I didn't even tell my mom what I was doing, because my mom was she's passed now, but she was a very popular person, and she was always on the bloody phone. And I knew that if my mom knew that I was doing readings, she would be calling everybody she knew. Hey, you want a free reading from all this? Yeah. And I would never get a break, right? Seriously, like when she passed away, we had over we had this big party for her, and we had over 250 people turn up here, and people couldn't even fit in the building. They were standing outside. We had live bands and everything. But yeah, so I didn't tell her, so I was just kept it on the down low. I mean, obviously she knows now, but yeah, but I was just doing readings, and then I got into remote viewing, and then of course I was doing the circles in London, and then I got into the CTT. I met George Duisman. Now, see, that's got to be corrected on your intro. Sorry, but I met George Duisman. I ended up in a Zoom room one day. He's the one that created CTT. Now I have evolved it quite a bit, but the bones of CTT comes from George Duisman, but he passed in 2022. But I think, I just did so much in the way of spiritual work, and and then I was discovered by this guy. I don't know if you remember Craig. Some of you may remember, but Craig was like, "Oh my God, he was doing, he was asking me for readings, and he was doing financial readings, and he was making like 10 grand, 25 grand." And then he put me in this Telegram group. And there's actually one person left from the Telegram group that still supports me from all those years ago. John, if you're there, hi. But then he then said, "You're going on YouTube." And I'm like, "I don't want to go on YouTube. That's ridiculous. Why would anybody go on? Like, why would you do that?" And he's like, "Okay, I'm hitting the record button. 3, 2, 1." And then I ended up on YouTube. And then I found, wow, okay, people actually find this information useful. And so now it's just like, I don't think I could stop if I wanted to. I like giving people information. Like, what we got coming out tonight? Trump versus Tylenol. Wait till you hear that one.
What the hell is up with that?
Well, I mean, what we found, I don't want to get your channel taken down again. And believe me, I know how that feels, because I had 2 channels pulled down. But excuse me, what we found was going out into the future. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but I'll tell you. Going out into the future, they do find that there is definitely a link between Tylenol, pregnant mothers taking Tylenol, and autism. And it actually, Tylenol ends up with a massive lawsuit against them, and then they have to really revamp their whole brand because they get stung with this lawsuit.
Wow, that's
Yeah, so
insane. It's probably like the acetaminophen in it. There's the people have bad reactions to that drug. Acetaminophen. Yeah, definitely. Like, I think that's the main ingredient that's supposed to, like, relieve pain is acetaminophen. Yeah. That's wow. That's fascinating though. That's insane. Like, Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this before we get, and I don't want to go too deep into this because this is another one where we have to tread lightly. But like, what are your thoughts on Charlie Kirk? I mean, there's so many different. There's there's so many. I mean, like, there's so many different things going on out there, right? Like, it's like some people are saying that it was staged. Some people are saying that it was like
Mm.
that he's a martyr. Some people are saying that he was a hero. Some people say that he was the reason that like Trump got elected. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Would
Charlie Kirk.
yeah.
Oh, well, let's ask him. I'm going to bring him in. Were you the reason that he was partially the reason that Trump got elected? Yeah, he's admitting to that. He said he managed to get the young vote, millions and millions and millions of young voters.
Wow.
But was this stage like as in his death stage? No, but there is a hit group behind this kid that has been, who did murder him. And this kid is not talking. And they'll never find that this was a hit job. They always do the same thing. They always find like the perfect person to end up taking the fall for the hit. But the fact of the matter is they were offering to pay him. He was some chronic gamer, which is what we picked up on the session when we before he was caught. And he just thought he was going to sit there and play games and not have to work and not have to do anything. I mean, he was a slave to his many addictions, and it just seemed like the perfect opportunity to be a slave to the addictions, right? Because that's what happens when you have an addiction. You're a slave to that addiction. So, oh, I know, let's find a way that we can just serve that addiction for the rest of our lives, and or the rest of his life. And this is what he came up with. And he was also full of hatred, full of, venom. And the reality is his family were a lot like Charlie Kirk, and he was LGBTQ. There was a lot
Oh
of
God.
issues there. Yeah, I mean, but he was the perfect person to carry out the job, and of course the gang that hired this guy, this kid, um, they want him to get caught. We got that as well. Like they want him to get caught so they don't have to pay the millions and millions and millions of dollars that they were paid to get this job taken care of. I mean, I'm getting it was like $60 million that they were paid, and they split
Wow.
it between them. And this is what they do. Um, and they find these people online. It's just that kid. Yeah, I mean, Charlie Kirk's here. So what would you like to ask him?
How does he feel about his death? And what is he upset that he got taken out so young? Because I think he was only 31 years old, right?
Um, did you get upset that you were taken out? So, I mean, this was meant to happen, he says, but how would you describe your death? I mean, he finds it tragic merely from the point of, excuse me, so many people were traumatized because it was videoed, right? It was broadcast. And that left a lot of trauma within a lot of people. I mean, you're watching someone get shot on
It's like an
TV.
execution. It's like an
Yeah.
execution, you know?
So he says, I wish that wouldn't have happened. Um, but obviously that was part of the shock factor and part of the impact that he left. But he has very different views now he's on the other side. And that was a really hard pill for people to swallow. And that, a lot of people were just very upset by that. I mean, he was pro Second Amendment. That wasn't even my question. That was somebody's question from the Patreon, that he was pro Second Amendment. How does he feel about it now? And now he's in spirit. He's anti Second Amendment, right? He really is against it because of the viewpoint he has now, which is at more of an advantage than what he was in a human body here on the 3D earth plane, which is there's too many crazies that possess guns, and that mass shootings will not stop, school shootings will not stop. This will just be a continuum. His death will have not had any impact in changing gun laws, even when, as he puts it, Charlie Kirk just said, even when I'm one of Trump's own people, and they still won't change the gun laws. So
Uh,
that just goes to show how bad these things, he says, his words not mine, that these things are not changeable. But there definitely, he says, there definitely needs to be some sort of gun reform, because the mentally ill are too often, they're getting these guns very easily.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with that, but I also feel like we should have the ability to right to bear arms, but there should be stricter guidelines about who can possess a firearm, and like it shouldn't be so easy to get. It shouldn't be so easy to turn people into like Manchurian candidates,
Mm.
because I feel like that's what some of these groups do. They find they prey on the weak and the vulnerable, and they exploit them, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, here's this kid, and like you said, he's not talking. One question from the audience, this was from Sexy Sunshine, I love that name, and she says, was his wife Erica in on it? Now let me give a little backstory to this. I had Carrie Cassidy on my show from Project Camelot. She feels that it was like a staged event or whatever, you know what I mean? But like people in that podcast, she brought up some stuff about, or other people brought up too, about the fact that like his wife has some like Illuminati, that maybe his wife has some like Illuminati ties, like this is going down the conspiracy realm. You know me, I'll let people touch on this stuff because I'm not, but I find it interesting. I mean, but I have all respect to Charlie and his death and all that stuff. But I mean, but what I say is, do you think his wife was in on it? Can you ask him that?
Was your wife? No, not at all. Not at all. But
Okay.
she did have a bad feeling, he says, prior to his death. She just knew something bad was going to happen.
Wow.
But no, she wasn't in on it. Absolutely no. Was Trump in on it? No. Were the Israelis in on it?
I would say
No.
yes. No? Wow.
No.
Because what was weird about that, Liz, was like he was when he first started out, he was very pro-Israel. Then he started talking a lot of like smack on Israel, and he was like, like he was, really laying down the hammer about Israel. And I guess this guy Charlie had a lot of big audience. You know what I mean? So like, it could really sway the way people look at Israel. I don't know.
I don't see, I didn't even know who he was until he got shot, and I was like, "Who?" I didn't know anything about him. I'd
Me
never
too.
watched him before, so I don't know. So let's ask him what excuse me, what was your stance on Israel? Um he didn't like what was happening. You can be at war, but you still have to be humanitarian, he says. What do you think is happening over there now? I mean, he's saying his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. He's saying it's worse than we're being allowed to know. And I'm saying, will this war ever end? Yeah, I mean, it will. What is the end goal for Israel and Palestine? Okay, he's saying that Israel's going to flatten Palestine. Are they going to take over Gaza? Yeah, they're going to take over parts of Gaza. And I feel that the UN is going to peacekeep in the other parts, and then they're going to try and do the thing where they rebuild and they have elections, but it's going to be a failed, he says it's going to be a failed democratic leadership, because what he says is Palestine, or what's left of it, will go right back into the hands of the terrorists, and then it starts all over again.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
Well,
is
I
a
mean,
shame. Which is a shame. I mean, I feel sorry for those poor people. I mean, why are they being starved? Let's ask Charlie, why are they being starved? Now, see, he's saying that it's the people that have the upper hand in the area that are confiscating all the food. I don't know. It's a very complicated
Yeah, because I
mess.
heard they were starving them out. I was like, they don't need to flatten them because they're basically starving them out. Which is like that's unfortunate to the people that aren't terrorists there. You know what I mean?
Oh
It's
my God. Yeah.
And then you got to think about this too. It's almost like some people think that Israel committed their own 9/11 on themselves because they would always brag about that they have this iron dome and nothing's it's impenetrable and stuff. Next thing you know, one day, what was it, January, I believe it was, and Gaza paratroopers are flooding Israel and they break down the border and they're in
Oh, it
there
was
and they're
October. It was
yeah,
October.
it's like how does that happen when you have such a secure country? You know what I mean? But one thing that was interesting about that, and me, like I said, I'll get conspiratorial. I'm like, there was a very negative perception of Netanyahu at that point. You know what I mean? Which I find
Mhm.
interesting. And I'll just leave it at that. But I mean, I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just saying, that's I don't know. I don't know enough. I'm just that's yeah. I don't know.
Well, I've been
It's
to Israel.
have you
I
really?
actually, yeah, yeah, and it was amazing. Honestly, it was absolutely amazing. And
Wow.
we were in the old city, me, my husband, and my oldest child. My youngest one wasn't born yet. And we took a wrong turn and we ended up in the Muslim quarter of which is, you're not supposed to be down there unless you're Muslim. You don't go there, right? It's so dangerous. And we were being surrounded and we were being followed and we could not find our way out. It's like rabbit warrens in there. And anybody who ever gets in a sticky situation, right? So I said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into that Muslim cafe there and we're going to talk to them about their food, right? We're going to go in there and we're going to eat. We're normal people. We're going to go in there, we're going to eat. And we did. And then I've started, like, they had this big, you know, salad bar and all, and they had all these spices and everything, and then I just was asking them, and everybody speaks English. I mean, most people, they speak 4 or 5 different languages there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I asked them, I was like, oh, tell me about this spice and tell me about that. And what did you put on your chicken? Oh my God, this is like the best food ever. Let me try this. Let me try that. And the people were watching us in the window and they were like, oh, okay, they're really enjoying themselves. And we're like, okay, we want to try this drink. And oh my gosh, what is that? What do you recommend? You can always, most of the time, get out of a sticky situation in a foreign country if you start asking them about their food, right?
I love that.
Always, like, what is the national dish? What do you got? I need the recipe. Tell me. And then they think, oh, well, they are really interested in what we're doing here. They're interested in us. But yeah, I mean, we finally got out of there, and it was during Ramadan as well. And we got out of there safe and sound. They were very polite. They showed us the way out. Come back tomorrow for some more. Try this, try that, and we made it out of there. But prior to that, 2 days before, some Israelis were stabbed in there, right? Because they don't belong in there. You don't belong in. It's very segregated, and that surprised me as well. I didn't realize that Israel was so segregated like that. But it's an
Well,
interesting place. It's very, very spiritual.
that's amazing. That yeah, I love that. I'd love to check it out. I'm half Lebanese, like but not
Yeah.
Muslim Lebanese. I'm like I was raised Christian Lebanese, but now I consider
Mm-hmm.
myself more spiritual. Because I saw what I saw was like these Abrahamic religions all going at each other. Like I've never been over there. And it's from what you sound. It sounds beautiful, but it seems like the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jews are always fighting each other. You know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean.
Well, there's the Christian quarter in the old city, and the Jewish quarter, and the Muslim quarter, right? And I just thought, oh, well, this is just one big tourist thing. I didn't know that you needed a guide with a weapon to go down into this old city and explore all these other areas. We were just walking through, right? Nobody told us. And, but it's very segregated, very much. Like the Jews are in the Jewish quarter, the Muslims are in the Muslim quarter, and the Christian quarter is really dying out. There was hardly anybody there. It was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. But the other thing about it is there were a lot of Buddhists that were there as tourists, a lot of spiritual people. It was just a place like it was a big melting pot of different religions, and it was just interesting to see. But
That's good.
I can't go. I mean, obviously you don't want to go there now, and I hate what's going on over there in Gaza and in Israel. I mean, it's just so bad. It's terrible.
It is. It really is. No one wins in war. Yeah, I always say that. No
No.
one wins in war. And it's always the people like us and our, like kids, our families that go to war. You know what I mean? Like my family's an example of that. Like my dad was in Vietnam. My grandfather was a POW World War II. My uncle was in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like everybody on my dad's side was military. So when it came time for was I going to sign up for the military? My family didn't want me to because they saw what my grandfather went through in World War II and what my dad went through in Vietnam. And it was
Mhm.
just like, but one thing I wanted to bring up, Liz, was this. I thought this was an important. I guess we could start getting to the questions now. This isn't a donation, but I thought this was a really this caught my eye, and I wanted to give it. Maybe you could help this woman. Her name's Miss Sarah. She's from your Patreon group. She says she lost someone who impacted her life. He took his own life. She's struggling badly still. Our connection was short, but he affected me a lot. Does he contact
Mm.
me? How, and any messages? And thank you for your message, Sarah. I hope everything gets better for you.
Yeah, let's ask. Sarah, what? So you knew him in a past life. This was not the first lifetime you had met him. And his impact on your life is always very short but profound. In another lifetime, speaking of war, in another lifetime, he went to war and he never came back. And you would always think about him and pray for him. So I'm really sorry. Does he contact you? I think he does try to contact, but he is very much like a lost soul. He's trying to figure out a way, now he's in the spirit world, to get rid of all of this self hatred. And he keeps designing these lifetimes that are not optimal. But he does think about you and he does miss you, and you will see him again. You will keep making contracts with him again. Um, so yeah, wow. Rob, I don't know about you, but the energy in the last it started to clear up in the last week or so, but to that, like a month before that, the energy was really strange. I was getting just about daily emails from people that were wanting to exit the earth plane. People I don't even know, right?
Yeah, I
They
agree.
were writing to me. They were right. Yeah, it was crazy. They were writing to me going, I need to know, I'm planning to do this at 8 o'clock tonight. I need to know what's going to happen to me, what will happen to my body. And this was one after the other. And I'm like, okay, if you feel this way, you need to call 911 and get a crisis team intervention. Um,
Yeah, really, right? That's the
because
first thing. Yeah,
it's not the answer. A lot of the questions were like, "Will I be doomed to repeat this lifetime again?" I'm like, "Yeah, you will. The very same circumstances." But something was definitely going on where I was getting one email after the other of people threatening to like exit the earth plane. And I would, send them away and say, "Look, you got to get help. You got to get therapy. You got to do this. You got to do that. You need to call 911." Like I said, 911, get crisis team, get psychological evaluation, see if you can get some immediate help. And none of them came back to me. And I was like, come back to me and let me know what happened. And none of them I probably got about 30 emails like that, and none of them came back to me. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened to all these people? Like, did they get the help they needed, or what did they do? But it was a weird, energetic, like 4 weeks there, don't you think?
Yeah, it still seems to be like that. It seems like people's problems are really bubbling to the surface for whatever reason. Like whatever issues people have, it's like really starting to. I guess that's the best way I could put it is bubble, and people are left to deal with like whatever it is, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's archons or aliens or if it's just the weird energy that's coming into the earth and it's affecting people. But like I noticed it too. I noticed it in my own life, and I noticed it in people I know's life, and I noticed. It seems to amplify during full moons. It seemed to amplify during the eclipse.
Mm,
It's yeah, like there's something with that too. I don't know. Would you
yeah.
agree with that, or you think no, or
Was it the eclipse? It was definitely okay. Good point. It was definitely something to do with the eclipse energy, but now that's passed, thank God, and hopefully things have gone back to whatever normal is. But yeah, definitely
yeah, I agree. It's weird, right?
crazy.
Yeah, it's hopefully I'll get to the next question. So this one's from Nova Power, and she says
Oh
she
yeah,
recorded the chat via Buy Me a Coffee, and thank you. She says under Maria, she says I would like to ask Liz what she sees coming my way in the next 2 months in terms of success or obstacles.
yeah. I know her. She's so sweet. Thank you. I miss you too. I need to book you in. To be fair, I haven't booked anyone in because most of you know, I had this whole rigmarole where I had to change schools with my son, and we had to get him settled into his new school, and blah. Anyway, which he's doing well now. Excuse me. In the next 2 months, I see a lot of healing taking place. I don't know what you've been going through, but I do see some healing. You need to rest. I'm getting that you need to really take some time out and heal your body. You've had a rough patch, a big rough patch. And finally, all this stuff that you're doing and all this stuff you do for everybody else as well, it actually all just got on top of you, is what I'm saying. It's like it all came to a head, and it was telling you you needed to slow down a bit. You do take on a lot of stress, and that's what I'm getting. So it's about the next couple of months you need to heal. In terms of successes or obstacles, I don't see anything at the moment other than just put your feet up and just not be so available to everyone.
I love that for her. That's interesting. I was looking for Ray had a question.
Ray does. Ray is a great tarot card reader, by the way.
Oh yeah, he comes on my show and does he comes on and does readings. He's like amazing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He really is like he's next level. I
He
really
is.
believe that.
I love
And
his energy. His energy is so great. You just can't help but feel good when you're around him. He's got an amazing energetic output. So, yeah, make sure you guys check out Ray's channel and you subscribe. And I believe, Ray, if you can answer in the chat whether you're still doing your morning tarot card readings.
I think he is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Um, uh, yeah, he shared his link. Yeah, he's definitely yeah. Good to see you, Ray. Glad you're here. I'll get to your question. I'm going to do Nat first because I found Nat. I'm trying to go through the donations and figure out who to do first. So this is Nat Janoff. I know you know Nat,
I love gnats.
and he says, "Hi, Rob. When I love when you have Liz on, and you do an amazing job as well. Liz, always appreciate your wisdom. Is there anything I need to know today that would help my finances and my health? All the best to both of you," he says.
Oh, he is so nice. And everybody should check out his YouTube channel. He also has a YouTube channel. He's an amazing musician. And if you're in New York City, you definitely have to go see Nat play.
Wait, Liz, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick before you
Yeah,
go on.
no worries. I'll
Oh,
hold
okay,
the
sorry, real
fort.
quick.
No worries. So yeah, you guys definitely should see Nat play. He's amazing. He's awesome. Anyway, so let's have a look while Rob's going to the loo. Um, let's have a look, Nat. Let's go into your past life. What is blocking Nat from financial prosperity and abundance? Okay. So, very clear. I got you in a past life as a snake. Now, whenever I get past lives come up that are snakes, that means self hatred. Okay. Snakes know that they're hated. They know that they scare people, they scare other creatures, beings. The way that they move is hated. Everything just about them, just about, unless you're like a very different person and you like snakes, which I don't think you do, Nat. But going into these snake lifetimes, they're full of self hatred. So you still have to clear out a lot of this self hatred, which, by the way, all of us have some elements of self hatred. Every single one of us. But that Nat is what is standing in your way of manifesting. I mean, you are manifesting, but you're manifesting at a very, very slow rate. And it's almost like, the rate it's going, you're going to run out of time physically, meaning, there's only so much time on the airplane. Not that you're going anywhere anytime soon. Please don't think that. But you'll run out of time physically. And it's kind of like the soul say, well, maybe in the next life. So we have to turn that around. You have to really start working on the negative self talk that is still a huge issue for you. And self hatred, self abuse. You really, put yourself down so much, almost in a very abusive type way. So all of those things, and the CTT because you're like one of my CTT warriors, but all of those things contribute to big blockages standing in your way of financial abundance.
That's a good. I would agree with that. That's a good point. Do you think the CTT helps with like manifestation, Liz?
Oh man. Yeah. We've got some hardcore manifestors in the group, and it is really rocking and rolling, Nat. That was just for you. It is really rocking and rolling in there. I mean, they really are clearing out so many blockages, and they're manifesting, and even knock on wood, me. I I've started to manifest too. I mean, little things here and there, but it all adds up. Um yeah, it does. But you have to be dedicated. Your intentions have to be pure. You have to be driven. You have to be determined. You have to, not get bored with the CTT. You have to know exactly what you want. There's a lot of things to it. So if you wanted to manifest, say, I don't know, just throwing a number out there, $10,000, you would have to be so determined and focused on that 10,000, right? And it's not just sit on the couch and do CTT, right? It also is you have to put energy into manifesting. You have to go out and try and get whatever it is that you want, but at least you're creating a better flow from the universe, that enables you to manifest because you've removed a lot of the blockages with CTT. Yeah, definitely. But you have to be really, really dedicated to the CTT, to doing it, to changing your life. A lot of times people just want to do one CTT session. They're like, okay, I'm healed, I'm cured. No, you have to, you all should probably be doing CTT until you take your last breath on the earth plane because it is so profound and so life changing.
I love that. It sounds like I got to get involved. I keep saying I'm going to get involved with it. I do. I should. Like, I I really would like to. Let me see here. Who was the next one? Let me see
There's a
here.
lot of people from my Patreon on here, so thank you
I'll,
guys
I'll
for coming. I really appreciate it.
I'll get their questions too. Yeah, that would be fair because they're your Patreon. Yeah, here we go. Here's one, and I'll try to get you guys your Liz's Patreon members. I'll try to get your questions too. It's just the chat's really flying tonight. Um, Sexy Sunshine. She says, Patreon member question: will my boyfriend Zach Edding's current crew get through this job injury free?
No, he will sustain some type of injury. Is it I feel like it's not going to be a major injury, but whatever it is he does, it's very prone to getting injured, and he will suffer an injury, but he'll get right back on his feet and keep going. So yeah, he'll be okay.
Wow, I love that. And let me see here. Okay, I got to ask this. So, Lori Van Houston, if you could put a comment in the chat, I can't find. I know you donated, and I can't find your question. So, I'd love to pull up your question. And yeah, if you can put your question in the chat, I'd like to get to you. And okay, this is from Ann K. And thank you for donating,
Oh yeah,
Ann. And
thank you guys.
she says, thanks for having us tonight. Liz, will I make the trip to Ireland in 2 weeks or will it be in the spring? She says.
NK. Well, no, why is it so hard for me to change my current therapist?
I'm sorry. This was okay. So there's that her question there, but the question she sent on Buy Me a Coffee was that. So maybe she has two questions.
Oh, okay. So I answered that one in the chat. It's because she's afraid that there's a fear of being uncomfortable. And even though you're with your current therapist, what I'm getting very strongly, you keep a very close shop in there, right? You're only just scraping the surface. I don't feel that you allow anyone to get to the root of anything. You keep a lot of hidden, and part of the reason you do that is because you don't even know what it is lurking in there, and you're terrified of finding out. Now, let me give this to you. There are some things that happened that you have blocked the memories of. And that's what the unsettled feeling is within you. It's like you can't put your finger on it. You know something's wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. That's what that is. So, maybe you should try hypnotherapy to uncover any locked or hidden memories. I'm getting that very strongly for you. Um, so I would say if you do change your therapist or if you add an additional therapist, it needs to be a hypnotherapist.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So, and then the second question, Rob, is
It's let me go. I'll pull it up here. She
it's
said,
is she going to Ireland in 2 weeks?
yeah, that's what I was looking at. She says,
Is
well, it would
Anne
be in the spring.
is Anne going to Ireland in 2 weeks? Is she going to go? I feel like not only are you going to go in a couple of weeks, but I also feel that you will go in the spring. So I can see multiple trips to Ireland for you.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that for you, Ann. I hope that it works out for you. That's amazing. Um, and the next one is Oscar Gonzalez. He's a Patreon member. He says, Patreon
Oh,
member here. Will my dad fight through his surgery and will there be any complications?
well, my dad went through his surgery and yeah, he's going to be just fine and no complications. No, he's going to be just fine. He'll feel better. I mean, obviously it's going to take him a while to heal, but he's going to feel a lot better with this surgery. So yeah, that's all good.
Wow. I love that for you. And let me see here. Here's another Patreon member. I want to get your Patreon members because I know they're important. Patreon member question. She says, Judy Jetson. Judy Jetson. I love that.
Hey,
Hi,
Judy.
Liz. She says, do you see that I'm pre-diabetic?
Is Judy Prida? I'm getting a no at the moment, but I think that if you don't cut out the sugar real quick, you will be. It's almost like you're just skirting on the edge of pre-diabetes, okay? You're almost there. So cut out all sugar, cut out the carbs. Plant-based diet is what I'm getting. Uh Cut out the wine or alcohol fizzy drinks I'm seeing. Um and you should be able to avoid it. And you'll feel great too.
I wonder if this is the same Robin that donated, but she's a Patreon member too. I'm not sure because this is um, well, let me just read you the question. It's again, this is a different question. So I'm just going to take this off the screen. This is Robin, Robin. She says, "Hey Rob, thank you, Liz. Can I ask you if I will get my RV and other mini metropolis projects going, if even if I stay at the Metro?"
Oh, okay. Can you put that back on the screen for a second, please? Sorry.
Yeah, this it's a different question. This is a Patreon subscriber, but I'm not sure if
Oh,
this is the
okay.
same person. Because I can't find Robin's question, so I don't know if this is the same. You know.
If the only thing blocking me from hearing my guides is in a different voice audibly is my clear audience, so I know that it's me versus them, or is it just my self doubt? Um, so I'm not getting, unfortunately, any clear audience for you. Say hi. We're on a live show. Hi. Hi. This is
Aw.
Elliot. He's come down here to say hi. Love you. So
Hi, Elliot.
yeah. Hi. How are you?
Aw, he sounds adorable.
Yeah, thank you. How old are you? 5. He's 5.
Aw,
Yeah,
it's so cute.
he's a good kid. He's a smart kid, and I think he's really rather psychic too. So he may be running the CTT, folks. When Liz is no longer around, this is your future CTTer. Um. So, and then the second question for Robin from Robin was something about the metro.
Yeah, she says, I'll read it. She says, "Can I ask if I will get my RV and mini metropolis projects going, even if I stay at the Metro?"
No. So I think she's talking about remote viewing projects. And I'm getting very strongly like it really has to be almost like a full time job. Out, however, you have to work right now, like everybody does. And you may have to put those projects on the back burner, unfortunately. Um, Now, going into this clairaudient thing again, I'm getting a no on the clairaudience. But when I hear, okay, so when I associate like clairaudience, I think of mediumship, okay? Excuse me. That means like, I'm getting a spirit standing here talking to me and I can clearly hear them. I do believe you do have some psychic ability. I wouldn't necessarily call it mediumship. I'm getting a no on the mediumship. But I am getting a yes on the psychic ability. So oftentimes when the information is coming into you, it's coming in the chest area, the heart chakra, the throat, the chest. Um, you need to decipher what that information is. And I can see how you think it's clairaudient, right? Because you're getting the information in, it is almost like you're hearing stuff, but it's really more feelings when it's psychic ability, and you just need to decipher it. You're a very good remote viewer, by the way. I'm getting that very strongly. So keep up the good work with the remote viewing. Remote viewing is an art form. It takes a long time to become extremely proficient in remote viewing. So keep up the good work.
I love that for you, Robin. And remote viewing is such
Excuse
an
me.
amazing, um, talent. Honestly, this one's
Well,
from Layla. This is a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Rose.
I mean, you know, and then I was speaking to someone about this the other day. Yeah, what we should do if you guys wanted to. I mean, I can't do it. Unfortunately, I'm very time poor, but you get the remote viewers together in the group and you get a tasker who issues a double blind ARV um tasking, but where you're trying to pick out the pick 3 lottery numbers for a particular draw. Okay?
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
you
be
can do
cool.
it. Listen, I've picked the 3 numbers before, but I didn't believe that I could do it. And I got all 3 numbers. But did I buy any tickets? No, because I thought it was a farce. I thought it was just rubbish and then it wasn't going to work. My first time, I got all 3 numbers. But if you have a tasker and you have a group of remote viewers, and what you do is, and I was telling somebody about this the other day. So for me, I like to associate sounds with numbers. So you would do like 0 is a car horn, and 1 is a bell ringing, and 2 is laughter, and 3 is, maybe a foghorn or a guitar. You just go on to, to number 9, and then you task a load of people, but you don't want to know exactly which pick 3 you're doing, because usually pick 3s are 2 or 3 times a day. You may want to do like Fridays pick 3 in the afternoon, but you want to do a double blind. So the tasker doesn't know which ball drawing you're doing, and the viewers don't know which ball draw you're doing. And if you find that there's a lot of correlation in between your viewers and the numbers that they're picking up on, well, then that's when you buy a ticket or multiple tickets. And the beauty of pick 3 is the tickets are cheap, right? So who cares if you get it wrong? But the winnings are, I think, I don't know, maybe $500, or who knows what they are now. But you could win some decent amount of money, and then what you do is you put that money in the pot, and then you use that to buy more tickets and do more viewings, and then you could build up a pot of cash. There are groups of remote viewers that do this, and they are successful.
That sounds so cool. I'd love to be a part of something like that. That's because I like to, I don't know, I like to test my psychic abilities on wagering. You know what I mean? Where I've come out ahead a lot of times. Where like I bet like sports parlays, like just a small amount of money, like $5, but then
Mm,
you have to have all 5 teams right. And I won a bunch of times. And the
wow.
payout's like like 2, 350, something like that. I do it on UFC fights better because I know fighting a little bit, because I used to, I was involved in it a lot, so I mean, so that's not really psychic, but I mean, yeah, you're still having to pick, a lot of variables can go wrong in a fight, you know what I mean? So you really need to know like yeah, it's interesting. I would love to be a part of something like that though. That'd be really cool, especially with the lottery, like, because it's hard to hit the lottery.
Oh,
It's definitely
yeah.
not easy, do
It
you know?
is hard, and you have to remove your emotions, right?
Yeah,
You don't want that tasker to, you don't want to be excited. And that's with anything that you do financially. You have to remove any and all emotions. I say it over and over and over and over. But people still haven't managed. I noticed that I worked on this very hard, and once I removed my emotions to any financial decisions, I was making better decisions, a lot better decisions. And you will, because you're no longer worried about, oh my God, am I going to make money? Oh my God, am I going to lose money? It just, things go so much better when you're not emotionally invested in your investments. And I can't stress that enough.
yeah. Um, Here's another one.
Oh,
Let's see.
Layla.
let me see here. Oh, yeah, Patreon. Sorry, yeah, Layla. Sorry, Patreon member. She says, I have a friend client, Celine, who is struggling. She was scammed out of $8,000. She's 25 and feeling hopeless. Was she coming out of it okay? She says.
Mm, I'm so sorry.
That's horrible.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, God, yeah, that's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money. $8,000. And will she come out of this? Yeah, but she's had to learn a lot of lessons through this. She unfortunately has to toughen up. She is not suspicious enough. She is not skeptical. This is a really hard lesson for her. I think she'll come out of it more in the new year, and it'll be a big lesson learned. But this is definitely something that she's had to go through. Yeah, unfortunately. So I'm sorry for your friend.
that's horrible. Yeah, this is a really good one from one of your subscribers. This is from Josie B, and this ties into like what I talk about on my show a lot. Is I'll just read it. She says, Josie says, Liz, have you ever probed gang stalking? What is behind this? It says innocent people are being called crazy. What I can tell you is I interview a lot of people who claim to be targeted individuals, and sometimes I feel targeted myself. It seems like people can be targeted in different ways, but like, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a real phenomena, or what do you especially I guess the gang stalking from what she's saying in this question?
So explain to everyone what exactly is gang stalking. Like, are you talking energetically?
No, well, I think she means physically. This is where like people are outside of your apartment and they're watching you, and I mean, let me just get the exact terminology. It says gang stalking or group stalking is a set of persecutory beliefs where those feel affected. They believe they're being followed, stalked, or harassed by a larger number of people. That's the best way to put it. They feel like they're coming out of their house to get their mail, and somebody's got a camera on them, or like they're at
Oh.
the grocery store, and some weirdo comes up to them and starts bothering them, about like vegetable, God knows what, like and like and this happens over in their life over and over again to the point where they feel targeted, or they call themselves a targeted individual. But there's a lot of different kinds of targeting. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Excuse me.
It's yeah.
So here's the thing. Energetically, you're attracting these people in. I've never probed it, but what I'm getting from the question is what is behind this? It's energy. Energy are, you're attracting these certain um these certain events. And I actually can tell you that I went through a period in London which was very hairy. I mean, I went through many periods in London where it was scary. But there was a time when I was being repeatedly stalked by different people, and it was getting to be a joke. I mean, it was relentless. I had 3 or 4. I ended up being 4 in the end. 4 different stalkers that would follow me all the time. Like, and I would be in the grocery store, and there's one of them, and then I would be somewhere else, and there was someone else, and the same people stalking me. And then I'm like, am I feeling strange? Like, what's going on? Then they started ringing my bloody doorbell, and my surrogate auntie, who I lived with at the time, she's like, "What the bloody hell is this?" And I'm like, "I don't bloody know," because it was nonstop, and it was my energy field. My
Wow.
energy field was attracting stalkers. And I had to work on that. I had to really clear out my energy field and say, these people are dangerous, and I've got to do something about this for my own safety. So, whenever you have these types of events, it's always a message from your energy field saying, hey, alert, alert, you need to fix this. Um, it's definitely an energetic thing. If you are drawing in bad people into your life repeatedly, your energy field has got something in it that is drawing these people in. If
What
you
could it be an
are,
entity? Could it be an
sorry,
entity? Could it be an entity?
No, no, it's not. It's your foundational energy that, and it could be a re-triggering event from a past life. I mean, you probably brought it in with you into this lifetime, but it really is saying, hey, you've got to fix this because you are attracting, XYZ in your energy field. If you are attracting the same type of date, girlfriend, boyfriend, they, them, whatever, in your sphere, and they're all the same all the time, it always ends the same way, they always turn out to be the same as the last person and the person before that. That's an energy problem, big time. Big time. If you're attracting narcissists in one after the other, whether they're covert, they're overt, they're alcoholics, they're drug addicts, they're porn addicts, they're sex addicts, whatever their addiction is, because narcissists are usually addicts, whatever their addiction is, and you just keep attracting these people in, big energy problem. You've got to work on your energy. But these
Wow.
targeted individuals, I mean, I can believe that. I can definitely believe it, but it is an energy filled problem.
That's interesting. I love that. I love that. I mean, I guess it's interesting. It makes sense that there's something wrong with the energy that's causing people to attract that kind of attention. That would make
Yeah.
sense. Um,
I had a girl who called because those of you, I used to work for the police, right? I had a girl call 999 911, same thing. Um, and she's like, "Oh my God, I've just been flashed," which is a major problem in London. You get lots of flashers all the time. And I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Where are you?" It has to be reported. And she's like, "Look, this is like the eighth time I've been flashed in 2 months." Right? It's like that. That's what you would call a targeted individual, and that's what you would say, okay, what is it in my energy field that is causing different men, they were all men, different men to flash me? What is this? She was flashed 8 times in 2 months.
it's not funny, but in a way, it's like, who would do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, sorry, isn't it fun?
No,
I mean, it's like,
no. You know what? It's people are strange because I we used to watch the the CCTV camera. And it'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning. At that point, nobody's really out in London. There's still a few night buses running, and it was really really cold out one night, and we were like, what is this bloke doing at the bus stop? Like, what is he doing? Why is he, there's something odd. Where every time a big red shiny bus comes, he was getting his, what, out, and he was flashing all the bus drivers.
that's hilarious.
And we were like, oh my God, okay, can we get a unit to this bus stop? And it was like sub-zero temperatures. Like, what are you doing? I mean, for crying out loud, go home and warm up.
I know, right? I mean, geez, oh man, people are insane. That's that. It seems like that's a like full moon energy. You get like people doing that during the full moon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we used to get that all the time. But you know what? If just about the full moon energy, if anybody like Ray or anybody here, if you want to do your pendulum work, you want to do your tarot cards, your psychic, your remote viewing and all that, you need to do it in the 3 days leading up to the full moon and on the day of the full moon, because you will find that your sessions are much more powerful and accurate than any other time of the month.
That's amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So you're remote. So you're more people are more psychically tapped in during the full moon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that, yeah, definitely. And you can really get a lot of good remote viewing sessions, a lot of good psychic information when you are doing your work around the full moon. Definitely. The 3 days leading up to the full moon are amazing. You should make full use of that. Everybody should.
I've always had like good luck manifesting on days before the full moon. Like, yeah, I can't manifest during the full moon, but leading up to the full moon, I always like, will manifest some kind of money. It seems like, but manifesting is like a big, I don't know, like I'm always trying to manifest, like it's, so I've noticed like trends, I've noticed like when, I'm still not able to manifest large amounts of money, but I'm able to manifest small amounts of money, I don't know what it is. It's is there a way to break through? Is there a way to break through and manifest larger?
Manifesting is hard. It's not easy, and you have to work on it every single day, right? And I know you're like me. You're cranking out the content. You're constantly working to bring information to everyone. It's hard work. I mean, we may make it look easy, but it's a lot of hard work. And I love it. I'm so blessed and privileged to be able to do it. But manifesting, you have to work on every single day. And you have to be so determined. We have this universal consciousness, which is basically the collective, the machine, everything in the universe. How this universe runs is what I call the universal consciousness. And that dictates whether or not, you get a manifestation. And if you think about all the billions of people that are like, I need this, I want that, I need this, praying, I need help, I need the, the universal consciousness is like one big computation machine trying to give people their manifestations, but it may not always understand what you're trying to manifest. And so whilst you want to leave your manifestation open. So, say again, going back to that $10,000, you want to put the wording in something like a minimum of $10,000 or something better, right? You want to kind of do it that way instead of just capping it. Oh yeah, I just need 10 grand. Well, the universe may have something more lined up for you. So you want to kind of leave it open, but you have to put energy into your manifestations every day, multiple times per day.
That's so interesting. And like, and so like the way that I'm doing content, you use that with like manifestation. You're saying, like,
Yeah, I mean, you want to manifest. Like, I'm sorry, your channel. I listen, been there, done that. It's awful. Your channel got taken down. What I will tell you, Rob, is you've got to put in a verbal disclaimer in the front now. That's what's going to happen in the future. You need to put in, hey, this is not journalism. This is for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you have that disclaimer in there, and that'll help cover you. This whole thing with Candace Owens being sued, she is going to lose so badly, so badly. Whether you agree with her or not, that's irrelevant. She is going to lose.
why?
It,
Why are you
it's
feeling?
it's not just the Brigitte Macron thing that they're pulling her up on. She has made lots of claims about, child sacrifice. There's a lot to it. And she's going to lose the lawsuit, and she's going to set precedent for people like you and me. And I heard this lawyer talk about it, and he says, the only way really around that is you have to use words like possibly, allegedly, and you also have to put a verbal disclaimer at the front of every video. And you have to say, this is for entertainment purposes only. And as
That's kind of
long
what
as
I,
you, hmm?
I'm sorry. That's what I did with this video. Like, I put it up. I've been putting it up on the banner of every video.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I say it's for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. You know what I mean? And I also say we're not giving medical advice and we're not diagnosing anything. Because that's like
Mm.
YouTube kind of goes down on that. And then I also say, I have a whole thing. I think that's a smart move. I'm gonna start playing that with every video. You're
You
right.
have to. Because
You know,
when Candace Owens loses her suit, it's going to set precedents for Joe Rogan. They're going to start coming after the big time people, right? big and small. It's going to be a big mess. So you have to cover yourself. Just to give you that little tidbit of info. What were we talking about? Oh, manifesting. You have to put energy into it every single day, multiple
Yeah,
times per day.
yeah. And this next one is from Crystal Nicole, and she says, question from Venmo. She says, I'm trying to heal and I get unstuck. I keep struggling with old patterns of addiction and freeze. Moving
Mm.
towards changing towards a medical career, but I'm lagging. She says,
Yeah, you've got to, first and foremost, so, okay, here's what I know. A lot of people come to the CTT with addictions, right? And they're just doing the CTT. And that's fantastic. That means that you are showing initiative. You are showing that you want to break this addictive cycle. But it can't be the only thing that you're doing. You have to back it up with 12 step. You've got to get a sponsor. You've got to go to, meetings. You've got to be able to get in that headspace and find coping mechanisms, coping strategies for when you want to resort back to that addiction. Yes, the CTT will help empower you, but I find the most successful people that overcome their addictions quickly are the ones that do all of those things. Right now, when I tap into Crystal, it's you don't have a coping strategy. I'm getting that very strongly. That's where you're lacking. You are, you get the compulsion and then you have no coping strategy in place. See, there's a reason you have all these steps, and it is to make sure that you are, your energy and your consciousness is fortified when you have these urges to do whatever the addiction is. And that goes for everybody out there. You don't have the coping strategies. So again, I would say what I'm getting for you is you're really going to have to engage and make this overcoming the addiction a full-time job. Moving towards changing your career right now, until you are able to get rid of this addiction, you're not going to have a career change. Okay, I'm getting that so strongly. Like, you're broken. And I hate to say that to you, but I think you know that. Like, you're broken. And in order to do like new courses and changing careers, you've got to be strong and be able to do that. And you have to be able to not sleep very much as well, and put everything into changing this career. And right now, you just can't do that. You are a slave to the addiction. You are not coping well. So when you get this urge or this compulsion, you just give in like that. You know, you do. And the problem is with the brain, Rob, that we found out when doing several CTT sessions is when, and especially if it's like a substance, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a substance, but most of the time when it is a substance, your brain will just shut down all logical thought processes. So that part of your consciousness which says, I don't need to partake in this addictive behavior, it will shut down. It'll put you on autopilot. Next thing you know, you're driving to go buy the drugs and you don't even know why you can't turn the car around, because you are on autopilot at that point. You can't make any other decisions other than going and buying the substance or going and doing whatever it is that you do that you're addicted to. And that's because the brain is set to ensure the survival of the individual. So if there's a chance that you're going to suffer any type of withdrawals, and withdrawals can be deadly, then the brain will shut down and go on autopilot, which is why if it is a substance abuse problem, you really have to put yourself in a place for long enough where you cannot obtain any substances. So, I mean, I want you to heal. I do believe that you can do it. I am getting that very strongly. Um, from spirit, I have a male standing here for you. But right now, until this addiction is sorted out, your life is on hold. So I hope that helps you. Um, and really, if you want to try, the CTT channel is free. It's there for anybody to use, and I so appreciate our group that turns up every Monday and helps to facilitate not only healing for themselves but for all of those people that use the CTT channel. I mean, that's good karma for everybody, right? But I mean, I would urge you to do that, but you've also got to do 12-step meetings. You've got to do sponsor. You have to have all of that coping strategies in place.
Wow, I love that. I hope things get better for you, Nicole.
Mm.
Crystal Nicole, and yeah. And the next one is from KK Smith. I'm trying to get to everybody's question that donated. Like it's hard finding their question. I'm gonna have to maybe just read the question if I can't find you in the chat. KK Smith says, Liz, going through a horrible divorce. My husband is toxic and dragging it out and fighting with me on everything. Can you tell me how much longer I have to go through this and what the outcome will be?
So, what I am getting here is you started holding your husband accountable, and that's when the problem started. Because before, you always gave him a free pass to behave however he wanted to. And for the sake of not having any confrontation, you just let him get away with it. But then suddenly you started getting stronger, and now you're holding him accountable, right? He doesn't like to be held accountable. So now he's going to try to destroy you. And I'm getting that very, very strongly. And so let's ask, how will KK Smith come out of this? I mean, you're going to come out of this divorce battered and bruised, honey. I'm so sorry, but you are. And but eventually you will heal and you will find your peace. How much longer is this? I think this is going to go well into the new year. He is not going to let up, right? And he doesn't care that constantly having to negotiate through lawyers and it's costing more money. He doesn't care. He loves that it's costing more money. He loves destroying you. And that is his ultimate goal, is to absolutely destroy you emotionally and physically if he could, because I feel he could go into a rage at times. Um he's very abusive. I feel like he could be very physically dangerous at times. So I feel going into the new year, you will get resolved, but in order for it to get resolved, see, she agreed with me. Yeah, there you go in the chat. But in order for it to get resolved, it's almost like you're going to be forced to back down. And I feel terrible about that. But you just are at the point where I'm just want it over with. I don't care. He's just worn me down so much that this is the solution I have to come up with in order to make this problem go away. But over time, I want you to know that this is all going to come back on him, by the way. He's going to have very bad karma.
Wow, I hope so, because it sounds like she's really going through it. Like, I mean, I don't want to wish bad on anybody, but like, man, what a jerk this guy sounds like. It sounds like, I mean, I don't know, like toxic and drag. Yeah, wow. Um, I wish the best for you, KK. I really do. Um, I was looking for the next. Okay, I'm just gonna have to read these questions because I can't find the people's names in the chat, so I'm going to read them from the PayPal that they sent. So this is Chris Ezza, EZEH, or no, Charis, CHARIS, Charis Ezza, EZEH, and thank you, Charis. He says, "Hey Liz and Rob, could you ask Spirit and my future self if I'm going to work with spirit, be a spiritual leader, and help heal a lot of people in their soul journey in the future, he says. Oh, I don't know if right. She took off. Well, she lost connection, guys. So hopefully she'll be back soon. So while she's gone, this is great. This is perfect because like now I have a chance to tell the people who donated and that I can't find your name in the chat. Maybe you could put your re-put your question in the chat. And the people are that I haven't been able to find. Okay, you ready? Lori Van Houston. Lori Van Houston. Can you re-put your question in the chat? Sorry about that. Let me see who else. Gilbert de Guzman. I can't find your question either. Chris, I just read your question, but I can't find your profile. And these are all people I can't either find your question or I can't find your profile. Rania Carbo, and then Hallie Hobson, and yeah. So and I'll look at the beginning at the end of the chat too. So yeah, but like yeah, let me look at the end of the chat and see. So everything okay, Liz?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know. So I'm having to tune in on my phone because I'm monitoring the chat on my laptop. You know, I always have problems. And somebody called and it cut the connection. I'm like, please stop calling me for crying out loud. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, where are we? Where's our next victim?
Was Chris Cheris Azera, and let me see here. Let me see here if they're putting their question in the chat. He put his question. So this is I'm just going to read you his name and stuff. His name is Charis Azea, CHARISEZEH. He says, note from Charis. He says, hi, Wiz and Rob. Could you ask Spirit and my future self if I'm going to work with Spirit, be a spiritual leader, and help heal a lot of people in their soul journey to the future?
I do, but it's a way off in the future at the moment. I feel it's way out there. You have got to go on your own spiritual journey. You're not complete. There's a lot more for you to learn. And I'm getting that you will eventually, but just not right now. There's a lot more for you to uncover it still.
Well,
But that's all very positive news.
yeah, I agree. And it could just creep up on him. You know what I mean? Like maybe like the more time that he puts into spirituality and studying stuff, like the more and more it will come to him, and he'll eventually, kind of develop into a teacher, or a leader like he wants to be. That would be amazing. I hope that happens for you, Cheris. The next one is
Yeah.
Gilbert Guzman. Let me see here. Did he put his? No. He didn't put his chat question in the chat, so I'm
Oh,
just gonna have to read
Gilbert.
it.
Gilbert's here.
He says,
Yeah.
"Hi Wiz, my soul contract is." He says, "Hi Wiz, is my soul contract holding back my wealth until a certain age or cycle, and how is it opened up to allow me to freely receive abundance?"
How is your soul contract holding back your wealth? No. No, no, no. No, you're on the cusp of it. Um, I am getting, God, I hate to give this out on public, but I'm going to. And I know you, Gilbert, and you're a lovely person. You all are lovely, by the way. All of you. Rob, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, you really are, Rob. You do such a great service for everybody. So here's the deal, Gilbert. You've got to make some adjustments in the energy field of your ego, is what I'm getting. There's still a few lessons to be had there, but I feel you're on the cusp. I really do. You know, you are very successful, more successful than you give yourself credit for, is what I'm getting. And you do really well. You do better than most. So just keep up the good work, is what I'm getting, Gilbert.
I love that for you, Gilbert. Yeah, and
He's a
hopefully,
great guy. He's great.
and we did KK Smith, right? We did that. Raina Carbo. She's a Patreon member. Um,
Oh, thanks, you guys.
yeah, yeah, these people are so nice. I mean,
They
I mean,
are.
um, I can't find her question though. I can't. Um,
Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. And listen, guys, all this money is going to Rob's channel. So thank you guys for being generous. And oh, wants to ask Liz about her career. What's coming up in the next 2 years? Thank you. Beauty Y.
that's really
Oh,
nice of you,
Beauty.
Liz.
Yeah. There she is. Thank you. Want to ask about my career. What's coming up in the next 2 years? You're definitely changing into a better role. I feel that you could possibly be doing your own private work, as in maybe even your own business, because you're just so tired where you are at the moment. You're like, oh my God, do I have to keep doing this day in and day out? I don't know how much more I can take. I'm getting that so strongly. Like, I'm so ready for a change. You will have a change, but I think you will launch some sort of business, or you will be more independent. Something about, like, I see you on your own. You don't have people breathing down your neck. So I hope that helps. That's all very positive.
I just got a really crazy message. I just got a really crazy message. I don't know if you want to address this.
Yeah.
So this is from this is from Carrie Cassidy. I just had her on my show. She said, "Three Eye Atlas just shattered, and its debris is racing straight towards Earth. If this is true, I dreamed they shot it down and pushed into another dimension. Looks like I was right. I dreamed it about 2 weeks ago. Three Eye Atlas just shattered. So this is the big thing in the community right now. So I wanted to see if you wanted to touch on it. Some people are saying it's a comet. Some people are saying it's a spaceship. Me, I stay neutral. You know what I mean? Like, I just let people come on and tell. But what was weird was it was like she showed me pictures when she was on, Liz, and it looks like a orb type thing, and then it looked like it had like nine other orbs around it, and it was like traveling. And the way this thing was
Mm.
like coming into our orbit, it was like dodging things and stuff and moving out of the way. So like, I'm not saying it was a spaceship for sure, but what do you have an opinion on Three Eye Atlas? And like, have you looked
Yeah.
into this?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We got that it was like some sort of Star Wars thing going on up there. It's some sort of spaceship crowd of aliens going after another crowd of aliens. Yeah,
So
we
it's
got
like a
that
secret.
very strongly.
Yeah, wow. So it is like, so you kind of, you're on the line with Carrie Cat. That's what Carrie thinks, it's like an Anunnaki ship or something, you know. So
I don't know if it's Anunnaki. I can't remember who we found it out to be. But yeah, there's a video on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel, that addresses it. I don't remember what I say. I say so much, it goes in, it goes out. That's a clear trait of a medium. You never retain a lot of information, especially when it comes to alien stuff, because I'm just not that into it. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not. But yeah, we got that it was some sort of Star Wars. I don't feel that it's shattered though. I'm not getting that. Have you shattered? No, but it may be letting off like pieces and energy, but I don't get that it's shattered. I mean, how big is this thing?
I don't. They say it's the size of Manhattan. Supposedly, right?
Wow. Um, Interesting. Yeah, I don't get that it's shattered. It's going to be in our view. How long is it going to be in our view? It's going to be there for a while. And then it'll just sort of go off the radar. Is it going to hit us or anything like that? No, I'm not getting that.
Wow. And this is another one from your Patreon. Another Patreon. This is CBTV. Hi, CBTV.
Oh, yes, I love her. She's so sweet.
She's a Patreon member. Love you. My mom's selling her place. Is there anything we can do to help her in her campaign? Will she do well and sell at top dollar at our audition or pre-sale?
Will she do well to sell at top? No, she's going to have to lower her price. Okay. It's a tough time at the moment, unfortunately. But she's gonna have to lower her price. She still will make good money. Is it gonna be slow? I just feel like it's gonna be slow. Um, is there anything we can do to help her with her campaign? I mean, you could just, advertise it as much as possible. Maybe print flyers out for the local area is what I'm getting, but not really. I mean, it's just a slow time.
Well, yeah. I was trying to think.
Um, or in a pre-sale. Will she sell for top dollar or in a pre-sale? No, I feel like the pre-sale is going to be a low ball offer. Unfortunately, I do. I think that people are using the pre-sale to low ball it. But yeah, but she will sell it eventually.
Yeah. This next one's from. This is one of the last ones. This is from Surf and Coin, and this is
Oh yeah.
Hallie Hobson, and she says, "This is a." She says she sent question on YouTube. Let me see here. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing it. I'm in the chat as Surf and Coin above. Okay, I got you, Heidi, or Holly. I'm sorry, Holly. It's so. I mean, this chat is so crazy tonight. Like this chat is going off, which is good,
Well,
right? It's good. That's
yeah,
a
they're
good thing.
great
But like,
people.
it's like because we got a mix of my audience and your audience in here, and people, everybody's like wanting to talk tonight.
Well, that's great. I mean, look, we're just so pleased you all turned up. So thank you so much. What's the question?
Oh yeah. No, that's the problem. She says, sent question on YouTube. Answer the question or just tell me what I need to hear. She says, and she says thanks.
Oh,
She's
can you put your question in the chat again, please?
Yeah, and that'd be great. And also, while we're doing that, there's one other person that we need them to put their question in the chat. I don't want to do that. I don't want to miss someone's question who donated. That's would be really Lori Von Hotten. And I called her out before. Lori Von Hotten, can you please put your question in the chat again? And anybody else that I might have missed that has a question, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, yeah. Did we get Raina?
Hmm.
Um, I'm not sure if we got Raina.
Yeah,
We got Raina.
we
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Jan Chapman, will I sell my house in Minnesota next year for a profit? Think you'll break even on that one, Jan. Sorry, but that's what I'm getting.
Oh, here we go. Here's Lori. That's great. Thank you, Lori. That's great. Yeah, I feel better now. I hate when I miss someone's. You know what I mean? I really hate to do that. It gives me a bad. You know what I mean? She says Patreon donated. Will my husband return to his job out of prison? He's 60 and he's currently due to back problems. He hates the thought of going back to that toxic environment. Yeah, I would hate that too.
I
Honestly.
gotta know. Okay. I got that he'll probably find a desk job somewhere, probably in the civil service, same sort of area, not in the prison, but I maybe, for police department, or I'm getting like a desk job. No, he can't go back there. He'll kill
Definitely.
himself.
I was gonna say definitely don't decide to drive Greyhound, because that's just like a prison, It'd be going from one, I was a joke. It was a joke, but no,
Yeah.
when you hear something else crazy with, and this isn't racial or anything. Like this is just an observation, right? I'm talking every Greyhound bus driver is Chinese and they don't speak English and they use Google Translate. So when you want to ask them something about your ticket, like you're getting ready to board the bus, you don't know what's going on, they pull out Google Translate. And I'm a patriot, but I'm accepting of all races. I feel like we should all get along and love harmony, unity, all that stuff. Trust me, I love that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a good person. But like
Mhm.
I thought one of the things to get in this country was that like you had to know English. It's like you know what I mean? And the same thing happened when I was at the hotel. When I was at the hotel in Iowa, the cleaning ladies were, I'm not even going to say what race they are because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's just say they were foreign. But I guess that's the point I'm making. They're foreign and they pull out Google Translate to talk to you. I'm like, this can't be happening in our country. Like, and again, this isn't a racial thing. It's more of like I think it's more of like an illegal immigrant thing, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because I thought you
Um,
had to go. I don't know. I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't know. I think. I'm glad they're making the effort on Google Translate. I mean, it's not easy for them. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
easy
true.
being in a strange country with not knowing the language. I feel sorry for them, but a lot of them, those drivers, what I'm getting from Spirit is they're on visas. Nobody wants to do these jobs anymore. So we're just grateful that they're willing to do these jobs. But yeah, I mean, kind of feel sorry for them because that's not easy.
Oh my god, this question is hilarious. This is from my friend Jimmy. Okay, he's joking here, right? So he says, "Should I?" He's my friend from my local UFO meeting. He says, "Should I quit going to my UFO support group in the middle of the month?" He says it's a long drive. Plus, I have to pick someone who has no money for gas. Okay, Jimmy, you could say that I had no money for gas, but I bought you a really expensive lunch last time. So, and he knows that, right? So I think he's kidding around. He's referring to me. But I always offer him gas money too. You know what I mean? Jimmy's a good
Oh,
guy. I consider him like an uncle. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. So I just thought I don't know if he really wants an answer there or what, because I don't think he'll stop going.
I gotta know. I gotta know.
um,
Becco says, question for Liz. I'm in between jobs. I'm so stuck. Should I stay in healthcare and hospital careers? Should she stay? For now, yes, but eventually you'll leave. You just got to go where the money is at the moment. That's what I'm getting. Like, it doesn't even matter what you do. You got to have money coming in. Um, you will eventually leave that setting and you will go on to something that's a lot more peaceful.
yeah, this is from Michelle Petros. This is really scary, or really sad. She says, "Will I find somewhere to stay tomorrow?" Jeez, oh man.
Oh no. Will I find somewhere to stay tomorrow? I'm too sick to be in my car. Michelle, my love, I'm getting a no. Um, where are you?
I think
Where
she's
in the
in New
world are
Mexico.
you?
She's one of my people.
Oh,
I think
I'm
she's
so
living in her
sorry.
van. I think she was living in her van. She was living in, at least she's somewhere warm. But I mean, and she's a beautiful girl too. You know what I mean? She really is. She's like, I think she has like health problems.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm getting a no on that. Oh, look, it's Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot.
I love Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he
He
is.
must follow you and me, I think, because you know him, and he comes in my chat a lot too. He's been on my show. They've been on my show. Him and his son Matt. They're amazing people. Really good people. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
can't. They're just awesome. Let me see here. This I want to answer this person because he says Kimberly says she can never figure out buy me a coffee. That's okay. You don't have to donate. You're not obligated. She says, but I will get to it figured out because I really want to donate. Okay, that's great. She says, thank you both so much for giving the time to your live chat. Oh, I thought she had a question. Okay, that's okay.
Oh, thanks, you guys. You guys are so nice.
But you guys, you don't have to donate. It's nice that you are donating, but like it's not obligational. This is from Sunshine Bee as we're wrapping up here. She says, just wanted to say hi to Liz. She's so lovely and she's always answers questions for
Oh,
people. Liz's
thank
Patreon is
you.
fantastic. She works so hard to make it fun and interesting. That's cool, Liz. That's really cool.
Oh, thank you, you guys. And we did your probes this morning with Grumpy Mr. Shakespeare on the Yield Max stuff. We're just putting it all together, and then I'm gonna get Photon to do a follow up, and then we'll get it out. But yeah, thanks, you guys. You guys are so nice. We are so lucky to have like the best people follow us. Honestly, I mean, well, I really appreciate it because if it weren't for the audience, I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. You know what I would be doing? I'd
I
be
feel the
washing
same way. Like
dishes, laundry.
I don't
Hmm.
have as big of an audience as I had before, like, but like
Hmm.
it's I still have a really tight community. The people that show up, I have great moderators. I have just great people. They're just amazing people. Like I was telling that to Nicole the other day. I said I'm lucky to have the audience I have because
Hmm.
they're just amazing people. They're just like, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
see
what
here.
keeps us going. If it weren't for the audience, I wouldn't be doing this. I mean, it's what keeps us going. It's like, wait a minute, people need the information. They need me out there. I've got to keep going. I mean, that's what keeps us doing it, right? If it wasn't for the audience, what would be the point doing it? We wouldn't.
Yeah. This we'll do one more question. This is, or maybe one or two more. This is from because I got another show at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern with Nicole. Okay, this says just me. She says, "Hi, I would love to know the divine purpose of Strider breaking his shoulder. I'm struggling to get through his healing." I'm guessing this is her horse.
Yeah, it is. Um, I feel like he had a problem with his shoulder, almost like it popped out of joint or something. It was very stiff. It wasn't flexible. Um, and it sort of it cracked and broke. There was nothing like a fall or anything like that that I'm getting. I'm getting like it was very stiff and it just, it just broke. It was just one of those things. Now, when Strider does recover, you're going to have to really take it easy. You may have to give some herbal supplements to get more flexibility in that shoulder area. So just take it easy. Strider's upset, doesn't want to be in the position that it's in at the moment either. Um, so yeah, but the horse will heal, thank God.
Yeah, I bet you there's nothing more he'd love to do than be running free right now. Like he's probably just like
Yeah.
this. Okay, here's the one that we missed. This is from Howie Hollis, or like let me look up her name. Hi, Hallie Hobson. Sorry, Hallie Hobson. She says, Hallie Hobson here. What does my next 12 months look like? How many lives have I had?
What does the next 12 months look like for Holly? So I'm getting like at around the end of the 12-month period, you're going to be going through a lot of changes, a big transitionary period, a lot of upheaval. And that's okay because you're just changing direction. Um, I feel like there could be a move coming along as well. I don't know why I'm getting that. It's like an unanticipated move. And how many lives have you had? Let's see, how many lives has Holly had? How many has she had? You're like around the 300 as far as human lives. Now, if you want an accumulative, like all the other things that you've been, you're well over 10,000 lifetimes. Um, you prefer being an animal than a human. You're like, this stuff's for the birds. It's so funny. Your soul cracks you out. It's like, yeah, I was good being an animal. But we can't go back. We don't go in reverse, right? We don't do that. Some people think we do, but we absolutely do not. You don't go from human and then revert back to animal and then go, no, no, you just keep going and expanding. Um, lot of transition coming up for you, big time. Relationships as well. I just see when you get to the end of it, though, it's where you're supposed to be. It's like you're going to bloom, and it's where you're supposed to be.
Wow. Let me see here.
Surfing Coin. I know these names. It's like, really, what's their real name? Because I know them by their handles, right? So, Kimberly's there. She's there. I just did it. I have a question. Kimberly's got a question.
What's your question, Kimberly? Can you put it in the chat? And while we're waiting for her, I'll go to Ellen here. Here's another one of your Patreons.
Oh,
Ellen
Ellen,
Marie.
yes. And she always comments on my YouTube videos. I see you. Thank you.
Um, oh, she says, how's my health? Sorry.
Okay, Ellen, you need to watch your uterus, ovaries, that sort of area. You store a lot of emotions there, and that area is vulnerable. So I would work on that. Overall, I feel that your body is changing for sure. But you're doing all right. You also need to watch your brain health. So make sure you keep the uterus, ovary, sort of womb area. You're doing your regular checkups. You're, having, what you're supposed to have down there. And then your brain health. You're keeping your brain health sharp. Okay. I feel that Alzheimer's dementia runs in the family and you've got to keep it sharp. Now, I don't think that you're going to come down with it, but you're going to have to stay on top of that brain health. So, like, what I'm getting is like fish oil, taking fish oil, supplements, eating well, plant-based fish. I'm getting a lot of fish for you. I'm getting no red meat for you. I don't know why, but no red meat, none of that. Limit the carbs, no sugar. Pretty, standard things here. So yeah, but watch that brain health and that area.
Wow. Well, I just realized it's 8 o'clock. I better get going. We've been going about two
Yeah, well,
hours.
you guys, I could go all night, but thank you so much, Rob. Thank you for
You're
having
amazing,
me.
Liz. Yeah, I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you brought your audience. They really turned up. I'll tell you. I mean, they
They
really
did. They're so great.
they did. They made it really fun. And I always have fun every time you come on. I really do. It's I consider you a really good friend, and
You
you have a
too.
show on my show anytime you want it.
Well, let's do a Halloween show. Let's try and get together around Halloween and try and do some spooky stuff. That I love
You want to? That'd
Halloween.
be fun. That'd be great. I think that'd be cool. And then we can, you know what I can do? I can try to like announce it beforehand. You know what I mean? Like so we build up so it gives a lot of the
Yeah.
people a lot of time to see, and then we can get a whole bunch. Maybe we could double our audience.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that would be great. We should definitely do some spooky stuff for Halloween. We could do the Bell
Plus,
Witch.
plus, if I'm still with Nicole at the time, we can do the show on her StreamYard, and she can run it through her Twitter as well, and we'll get the whole Twitter audience as well. So we can always do that too. Like,
Yeah,
and once we have it, so that would be cool too. Yeah,
yeah,
but
let's do it. I mean, by all means, let's do it. I love Halloween. I'm dressing up as the Little Mermaid this year. Last year I was the what is it, the mean woman, the serpent in the middle. I can't even remember. Ursula. Last year I had an inflatable like Ursula costume with like the tentacles and everybody loved it. And my kid thought I was the bee's knees, and my dad's in a wheelchair, and I've got him like a King Charles mask, and we put a crown on his head, and we dress him up like King Charles the Third, and he just waves at people. And so this year I'm doing Little Mermaid, and my little one that you guys heard, I think well, we haven't decided. He's like, do I want to be a pumpkin or do I want to be a transformer? Such a
that's cool.
contrast, but we do lots of trick or treats and that. It's so much fun. I just love Halloween so much. So yeah, let's do a big spook show.
Do you want to schedule it now? Because I have my calendar, or do you want me to just right? You want me to email you?
Yeah, just email me, please. Yeah,
Okay, I'll email you. Yeah,
thank
that would
you.
be better. Perfect. And do you
Yeah,
want to
and
tell people how they can follow you and your Patreon and all that stuff too?
oh, they're all here. They know. And we just thank you all so much for coming. You guys are just the best ever. Thank you so much. Honestly, where would we be without them? So thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Rob because he had more subs than me a few moons ago. And then he got his channel taken down and he's having to start over. So just like and subscribe. He does a lot of cool stuff.
thanks, Liz. That means a lot. Really, it's really
Oh,
coming from you. That does mean a lot. It's like
oh,
I
God.
I think you're just like amazing. Like like with the
Thank you.
stuff you
You
do,
too.
it's really awesome. So honestly, and I really enjoy having you on. I really do. It's always
Thank
fun.
you. You
So.
too. I enjoy it as well. I'm gonna get you off of that vaping though. We need to do some CTT to break your vape.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's yeah. Maybe I could replace it with marijuana. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
no, you don't want
It's a
that
joke.
either. Yeah. But thank you.
All right,
And
everybody.
we're so lucky. We're just so lucky. And I'm lucky to have my guys, Shakespeare, Photon, Reality. They're the ones that ask the questions. I would never think of all these questions. So I give a big shout out to them as well. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And guys, if you want to know, I'm going to be live again in an hour at 9 p.m. Eastern with Nicole or Coley UFO. She goes by Coley UFO. and we got Tom Altman. He was a movie director or something. I mean, I have his bio right here. I can just read people who this guy is. It's just real quick. I'll tell you guys. This is my 9 o'clock show with Nicole. If I can go back, she sent me the bio here. It says he's a. Oh man, this is a long bio. Oh, he says David Altman. He's a Los Angeles-based television producer, specializes in documentaries on script content focused on UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrial phenomena, related mysteries. With a career dedicated to exploring cool stuff in the entertainment industry, he's built a reputation for creating engaging, thought-provoking programs in major networks. And he's like a professional freelance TV producer. You know, he worked on some pretty big name stuff. So. It should be an interesting show. I got to do some studying for it now for an hour before we go on. But yeah,
Awesome. Well, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, and thank you so much, Liz, and I will be seeing you going to Halloween.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We love you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Good night, everyone.